What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Hopefully you can hear me. This thing is extra loud now. I finally got it running. Whew, this was crazy to get all 8 cards running on this thing. Attaching like mad, and I want to talk about that, and that's why I'm making this video. This is something I don't understand, and maybe someone can break it down to me. So when the card was running, when the machine was running on 6 cards, I needed extensions because the power cables from this Chinese PSU, they weren't long enough to reach. So when I got the extensions, I hooked them up, hooked everything up, and what I was doing was like with these ones. Now, these GPU risers, as you can see, are slightly different than these ones. And so what happened was, I was splitting the power between the GPU and the riser. Basically 3 connections, just like I am down here. This one's the same way. But for whatever reason, these risers are slightly different. These ones have the 6-pin and the Molex on it. And when I plugged up these two, I started getting bad shares. And then GPU number 5, this one, started failing and would just go to 0. And it was pretty consistent. I couldn't figure out why. So what I did was I started taking care of the bad shares first, because what would happen is when the thread started, GPU 5 would be running fine, but I started getting bad shares left and right and everywhere. And so I had a bunch of these Molex wires and SATA connector wires on the back that I wasn't going to use. What I did was I started unplugging the 6-pin from the riser, and I started using those Molex connectors. So that started to work. But what happened was, instead of getting bad shares, now these cards started to fail. And these are the ones with the Molex connectors. So I just one by one went down and I started changing them out. But here's the crazy thing about this Chinese power supply. Now it has power supply wires for 8 cards, but it only has Molex connectors for 6. Well, it's got SATA Molex mix. So it's like partially SATA, partially Molex. So I was like, okay, how am I going to make this work? You know, I need to make this work somehow, because I got 7 cards running on these Molex connectors. So what I did was, some of these, like this cable right here, as you can see, this is the Molex is plugged in here, and then there's another Molex here. And I wasn't sure if it was safe, but what I did was, you can see it right here, I ran this cable to here. So basically this is one cable. So these 2 risers are running off of one Molex cable. And according to online, information, one Molex cable can run about 192 watts max. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I saw online. They say a riser can pull about 75 watts. So combined, that's 150 watts. It's underneath the 192 watts. We should be safe. Anyway, that's not the crazy thing. So once I got all that hooked up, everything started working normal. I started getting normal shares. I didn't get any more bad shares because, it was just a nightmare. I tried it one at a time, and then at the end I just said, you know what, let me just go ahead and do all the Molexes how I can. Did a little bit of cable management, not entirely. You see that thing's hanging on there. I don't like that, but whatever. Here's the crazy thing. This thing is running at 545 mega hash at the pool. But here, because they're unmodded, because I need to get you can't BIOS mod these things using the original BIOS. You need to take a different BIOS, modify it, and then flash it on here. So these are unmodified. Unmodified, they're running at 53.1, 53.2 mega hash. That means in total, this rig here at the house is running at 425 mega hash. At the pool, it's 545. And the only thing I can think that's causing this, and it's pretty consistent, it's holding steady, it hasn't crashed, is that somehow by taking the power away from the 3 plugs over there, so basically GPU and the risers powered together, and then giving it its own power, it communicates faster somehow. I'm just speculating here, and thus gives me somehow a faster hash rate at the pool as opposed to at the machine. I have no idea if that's correct or not, but nothing has changed really other than that. So I'm starting to think now maybe I should find a way to power these 2 or these 3 here. My math is off. 3, so there's 6 of them. Oh, what the heck? Anyway, whatever. My math is off here. So if I need to find a way to power these separately and see if that increases the hash rate even more. Because right now these 3, for some reason, they're fine. They don't have the Molex connector on the side. They're fine with sharing power between the GPU and the riser. But these ones with the Molex connector on the side, they somehow hate it. So I gave them their own power source. I don't understand this, guys, why it works like this, but hey, it's working. I'm not complaining. I'm happy it's hashing, I'm happy it's mining, and I'm happy it's doing its thing. But if anybody's gonna answer for me, man, let me know. I don't understand what's going on here or why it's like that. Anyway, guys, 2 more rigs in the works. A third one is being plotted and planned with a co-investor. So, inshallah, gonna have a lot of material on this. It's your man Abuamerican. I'll catch you guys. I'm out.